Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, don't you think? You want to see it with two of them?
No, not really.
Oh, thank heavens.
You know, you look, for a minute there, you look like one of those rock stars from
Why is my toupee?
20 years ago. Not the way you were handling that salt and pepper shaker, like if it had a wire on it, you would have swung it around and bopped
I was
somebody.
a rock star at one time.
Yeah. Your Aunt Tootsie rocked you in the cradle like when you were a baby.
In the cradle of love.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it did.
Well,
Hi, Mr. Johnson.
How are you?
Oh, I have never been better. Never.
Well, I haven't been better for a long time. For a while,
I'm doing real well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Let's get the witch in here and find out what we're...
She just sailed through.
Mighty fast. The witch has got her act together this year.
Well,
Now,
you spoke too soon, Johnson.
She rammed that witch broom right up my finger.
Which broom? Which broom? That broom. That broom. Okay, what do you got?
All right, dear boys, is it possible for you two to just do a regular meal? I mean, like, I know you're trying to be funny and all, but you're getting too far out. Come back to earth and just do a plain, ordinary meal that's not too complicated. After Wussy and I get home from our jobs at the bank, we're too tired to do anything but use the microwave and do some frozen thing. We've never used the stove in the townhouse we rent. Actually, we're Generation Xers who never had a lesson on how to cook in our background, okay?
Oh.
Sincerely, Bunny and Wussy Wiggle of Sparkling Pines, Colorado.
I'm telling you, I love to hear from those viewers out
they're
there.
wonderful.
So what does it mean, Laban?
Well, I guess we just need to do today a regular meal that's not too complicated. So I think you're doing a salad and I'm doing a vegetable.
Oh, and hey,
Doris did the entree.
Doris is coming by, and we have a new hand mic today
Right,
we're going to introduce because I have been trained by the sound engineer in using hand mic, and so for my safety. For my safety.
After all these years, 17 years we've been doing this show, we're finally going to let Doris speak into her own microphone.
And
instead of your bosom.
The Cook sisters are also going to be here.
You're kidding. Are those old broads out of the nursing home again?
Mr. Steve has been at it again. Have you noticed?
Oh, yeah.
Skunk hair.
Put another...
skunk hair. But
you
it's
know,
okay.
he has got to change that knit needle that he pull, or what is that crochet hook that he pulls his hair, because you really do look like a tiger.
Like a tiger.
Either that, or for you, this old house fans, he looks like he is Tiger Cherry, one of those cherry woods.
See? Well, he got it fairly even this time, don't you think?
I don't know. There's a big hunk of it right
enough
here.
of this. I'm going to do seafood salad, and it's a real simple salad. Simple salad.
Simple salad.
Went to the fair.
Simple salad says. Read the recipe.
And it was sent in by Mrs. Jessie Keohl of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I hope I said, how would you pronounce that? Is it Keyhole?
Keyhole.
Keyhole. All right. And yours was sent in by?
Mine was sent in by Linda Hall of Coburn, Virginia. That's out in the coal fields. And Linda, we're going to do your green bean Caesar right here on Cookin' Cheap.
All righty. All right. You're going to do yours first?
Let me just start here, and then I'll just play around. This is a extremely easy recipe. You start off with 1.5 pounds of green beans.
Did you snap those from your garden?
No, are you crazy? When we're taping this show, there's been a big freeze in FLA, and we can't get decent green beans here on the East Coast right now. They don't look good. So I used frozen ones, and I cooked them. And you just put them in. You don't have to grease the bowl or anything. You just turn them out into a bowl.
Well, aren't they pretty? They look like real beans.
Well, they do. But you could use fresh ones, or you could use canned ones for those of you that are not adverse to using a canned vegetable. There's nothing wrong with them. So the green ones just happen to be cheap today. So you start with that, and then we're going to add to it 2 tablespoons of salad oil. You remember salad oil?
I remember her.
All right. Here is 1, and just sprinkle that around. 2. And that's...
You know what we used to say?
What'd you used to say?
Lay down, Sally.
Sally. And now I'm going to use some wine. You can use any kind of vinegar. I'm going to use
What kind are you going to use?
some wine vinegar.
Oh.
And I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon full of the wine vinegar and just sprinkle it all around.
Ooh, that already sounds
Oh, it is.
wonderful.
So that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm going to shake around, then I'm going to put in some seasoning. So show people what you're doing. Oh, you're doing such a good job cutting up those peppers.
Well, this seafood salad looks to be quite simple, and also it looks to be quite delicious. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking a green pepper. A lady stopped me at a store yesterday and just laid me out while I'm holding a huge piece of furniture, I'd get 70% off at a going out of business sale. I'm going stop me. I'm holding a piece of glass this big, stopped me and laid me out because we don't leave the recipes up long enough. And you know what I said? I said, well, you know, we do the best we can, ma'am, and if you'll just get out of my way, I'd like to get to my car. No, I didn't say that. I was very nice to her. I thought I was exceptionally nice.
98% of the people we talk to are just as nice as they can
they
be,
really
and the
are.
other 2% are goofy.
Well, she didn't mean it in a bad way. So anyway, just some plain old bell pepper here. Just chop it up, and chop it up fairly fine into nice little pieces. I have actually taken the time to do a nice job of it, because you don't want real big pieces for this salad. It'll just get in the way. And so anyway, that's more than enough, actually. It only calls for 1/4 cup of green peppers. That'll be just about enough. Also calls for a couple of 1 tablespoon of diced onion. So that's not very much. And I'm just going to cut a little bit of that up right now, too. You notice my fingernails have gotten pretty long. I need to chop those things back a little bit. Anyway, that'd be about enough, and chop that up real fine. Johnson, what do you got?
Well, now we come to a problem in the recipe.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's true. Linda says use a tablespoon of instant minced onion. Well, I had it on hand, but she didn't say whether to reconstitute it or if the recipe would soak it up. She didn't say anything about it, so I'm going to put them in just dry like they are, and instead of trying to soak them in water for a little while. I suspect you could do it that way if you wanted to,
Well, let
but
me ask
she
you
didn't
this.
say.
What would you do if you were doing it at home instead of in the studio?
I'd experiment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, that's what you got to keep that in
and
mind.
I cooked one of these already at home a little while ago, so we'll find out if it's any good.
All right. I also need to chop up a little celery. You know how irritated people get because we spend so much time chopping on this program. But ladies and gentlemen, as we always explain, if we didn't take time to chop, the show would last about 2.5 minutes. So I have to chop some celery. I have to dice up about 1/2 cup of celery. Now I'm going to do that right now. And I washed it all off a few seconds ago. This is the filthiest celery I've ever seen in my life. So
Now,
I'm going to do that real fine, and then I'm going to chop that from there. Go ahead. Sorry, I got in your camera space, didn't I?
I am adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The ones that we'll eat on the air today, because of my heart, are made with salt substitute. And now we're just to have an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper.
You know, there's nothing wrong with my heart that I know of, but I really do believe that as a result of the last 2 or 3 seasons of eating your food, I think that my heart's better than it was when I started.
Well, I'm so
this
glad.
show. I'm real happy to say
Well, we
it's
do try.
really healthy.
I
It's
get,
been
a
very
matter of fact, a woman came up to me today in the store and said, it's true, people talk, it's all right.
They talk to us
we
like we're
enjoy
their
it.
old friends.
She inquired about my health and started telling me what a hard time she had. She had a lot of problems. And we commiserated with one another and found out many of the same things we had all found out, that, with sugar, no sugar.
Too much drinking isn't good for you?
Well, no. This was a very
obviously.
fine, upstanding woman.
okay.
I'm sure she would never partake of the fruit of the vine. But in any event, or the fruit of the field in the matter of corn. But she was real nice. And,
Fruit of the field.
We noticed that, if you put if you get a no-fat product, a lot of times they'll ooch up the sugar and the
They'll
salt.
what? They'll what?
They'll ooch it up a little
Ooch
bit.
it up. Is that a southern term?
Yeah.
Ooch.
Ooch.
Yeah, I
Ooch it
grew
up.
up in the South. I never heard that one.
Well, anyway, they'll ooch it up a little bit, and it'll have extra salt and sugar. So you got to read those labels. That's why they made them easy to do it. And enough said for the thing. Now, I've got my oil, my vinegar, and my salt and pepper, and my instant minced onions in here. And now I have to put in a clove of garlic that has been squashed
into an inch of its life. Do you need a knife for that?
No. I'm all right.
Our lovely assistant Doris has gone running down the hallway to find one for you.
Just put the garlic down in there squashed, and now I'm going to stir all of this up a little bit so that it takes up the flavors. And just toss it around. Yeah, well, it does, and it smells interesting. So just rub it around, you know, just kind of roll that garlic through there, and it'll take up the flavor and everything. So we're in good shape. All right, there it is. Now I've got to make a topping for it, and I'll do that in a minute, Larry. Or do we want to risk it and see if the cookers will come in here now for a minute?
Let's have the Cook sisters come in. And when we get back, I'll review recipes and I'll start putting this thing together. I have to assemble mine yet. The grand assemblage will be momentarily.
Yes, and here comes that dynamic duo, Sister and Tootsie Cook, the Cook sisters.
Oh, sis, your skin is getting so dry. Oh, and you know what cause that is?
Yeah, they don't make lard like they used to.
Well, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but you're right about that. We've let the air in the house get too dry, and you shouldn't do that. It's not a good idea. You ought to have some boiling water on the stove, or maybe some bowls of water sitting around.
Oh, we could leave the you-know-what lid open.
Well, I never thought of that.
I'm Sister Cook.
And I'm Tootsie Cook, and we're the Cook sisters.
Okay, aren't they wonderful? I have to now take some shrimp, and I got the small ones that are already thawed and deveined. You can get fresh ones and save a little money, but I just didn't have time to save money. So anyway, I'm going to chop this up a little bit. It does need to be chopped. And if you can get the little miniature popcorn ones, I guess they're available. I have no idea. Can you buy the popcorn?
Yeah, sure you
ones?
can.
I reckon you can.
That'd even be cheaper.
That would even be cheaper still, because the smaller they are, the more money you save on them. There was not much cheap about these. This is the most expensive part, probably, of the entire recipe. So I'm going to chop on those for a few minutes, and I have a whole package of them that have been thawed. They're really pretty, and there were some people just...
What size package was that?
Well, I don't really... about a half a pound, I think, or so.
Let me...
And
hello down in there.
Anyway, and I'm going to continue chopping on those.
12 ounces.
12 ounces. Okay. I'm going to tell you what's in mine right now while I'm chopping. This will save a little time. The seafood salad, a package of crab meat, a package of small shrimp or medium shrimp cut in pieces, mayonnaise or salad dressing. I'll be using a little salad dressing because it's not quite as caloric and a little bit easier on Mr. Johnson and myself too. Half a cup of diced celery, quarter cup of green peppers, tablespoon of diced onion, and we'll put a little salt and pepper to taste. Mr. Johnson?
Okay, now I'm going to make a topping to go on the beans before they bake in the oven. And I've got a tablespoon of softened margarine in here. And to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of dry breadcrumbs. So there's 1, there's 2, and 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan. Preferably one that is actually grated and in a plastic bag rather than a cardboard box. The flavor really does tend to be a lot better when you have it that way. Now let me see if I can get into this. Oh, this is a complicated one. How did I do this? Don't you just know? I can't. There we go.
There seems to be a lull in the program.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where they've got a bag that's sealed so well you can't get into it. I really do feel sorry for some of our elderly viewers that have a hard time getting into stuff, because I know I am. 2 tablespoons full of shredded Parmesan cheese. this over here. And now we're just going to mix all that together until it forms crumbles. So I'm doing that. Larry, why don't you go through your recipe, and then we'll bring Aunt Doris in.
Well, Laban, funny you would mention that because I just did it.
Oh, you did?
But
Now, wait a minute. You went through every ingredient?
I certainly did.
Ah, well,
Let me assemble.
let me do mine.
All right.
The green beans Caesar. How did I have of fresh green beans? I'm sorry, folks. I'm just a little discombobulated. 2 tablespoons of salad oil, a tablespoon of vinegar, tablespoon of instant minced onion, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, clove of garlic crushed, 1/8 teaspoon black pepper, 2 tablespoons of dry breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese, and a tablespoon of butter or margarine, and some paprika to come.
Okay, I'm going to assemble mine right now. It will only take a couple of seconds. I've chopped everything, the shrimp and the diced celery and the onions and the green peppers, and I'm now going to take all of them. We're going to put it all into a nice big bowl. Oh, it's a pretty salad too, and it's also going pretty much all over everything. There we go, it all goes in there. There we go. And then also we will put into that a package of crab meat.
How big a package is that?
Well, the package is one of those cans.
Oh, okay.
You get a bigger one. And then to that, we will then add some salt and pepper. A little salt and pepper to taste. Not an awful lot. We don't need to overdo it. And I'll probably add a little more pepper to it in just a little bit. And a little bit of salad dressing goes in there, and you just have to play this one by ear and just mix it around until it has a nice consistency to it. And then you chill it for a little while before you serve it because it'll just be lovely. Why don't we have you ready?
Yeah,
to have
we
Miss,
better bring Doris in
Miss
because
Doris
she threw that fork down on the floor a minute ago.
She did?
So that she would get our attention. While Doris is explaining her recipe to her, I'm going to put this topping on the green beans. So,
Well,
Doris?
isn't that pretty? What is that?
My recipe is from
You
Sue.
didn't say hello or anything.
Oh, yes, I know. I should say hello to everyone because everyone says hello to me, and I'm real happy with that. And you guys might complain, but I'm happy when people stop me in the store and say hello.
Sorry, no, hit it.
Anyway, it's from Sue Fisher from Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, and it's a chicken meatloaf. And
You know, you sound just like yourself on mic.
I hope so. Well, anyway, I couldn't find ground chicken, so nobody's got a light on here. You know, they tell me to look at the camera.
Well,
One time I'm looking,
they're
they're
showing
up
your
above.
food.
Okay.
Just get to it here.
Okay, I've got time. And my horoscope said for me to really play up, build myself up, and I'm building myself up here.
Well, we're going to be out of the show here in a couple
But
of minutes.
anyway, I couldn't find ground chicken, so we bought the breast of chicken on sale and ground it up ourselves to do this. And I think it's
You
a
went to
lot.
all that trouble for this
Yes,
show?
and it's a lot cheaper, and you know what's in it. You know,
Well,
you
that
don't
is
know
true.
what's in that other stuff. And and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got 2 pounds of ground chicken, an envelope of onion soup mix, 2 eggs beaten, and I used the egg beaters this time so that
Good for you.
Laban can eat it. 4 slices of white bread soaked in water and squeezed out, 8 tablespoons of Italian breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 4 tablespoons of ketchup, 4 tablespoons Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of steak sauce, 2 tablespoons white wine, 1 small onion grated, 4 garlic cloves minced.
And the partridge in a pear
really,
tree.
and then you put some ketchup on top and some more breadcrumbs, and I felt by the time I got done with that, it didn't matter if I found the chicken or not. I probably could have used turkey, and nobody was going to know the difference.
I'll be honest with you,
with the whole-
Doris. Doris, I'll be honest with you. It wears me out just hearing about it.
Really. And then just put it together and bake it for 45 minutes. And I would suggest putting it in maybe a loaf pan because it's hard to shape. It was very soupy, and I let it set for a little while to absorb the breadcrumbs so
But
I
it
could
does-
shape it.
it does have a
otherwise,
beautiful
but I think
shape to it.
Yeah, but I think if you put in in a
loaf pan.
then when you turn it out, you would have something nice.
A wonderful job as always.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to digging into it.
Go ahead,
All right,
Laban.
let me sprinkle a little paprika now here on the top. I have no earthly idea what this paprika is going to do, This is a mild one as opposed to a hot one, so it's not going to add a whole lot of flavor. But there's the paprika. And Larry, I baked one ahead of time, and here it is.
Well, why don't you tell us
And
what's in yours, Laban?
I've already done it. Paying me back. Oh, you dog of dogs.
Well, that's pretty.
Yes, it is. It's real lovely. It might have stayed in the oven. You really only need to heat it through, so that's maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and this was in a little longer than I wanted. But I think I'm ready to take it over to the table.
Well, speaking of pretty, I want you to see this, because this really is also, this is a very pretty salad, and you may want to top it with a little something of this, not real pretty around the edge, because I mixed it in that bowl. I would transfer it to something else to prettify it all up, you understand, make it look lovely. But it is very pretty, and put that in the refrigerator and chill it, and you might want to put a little parsley on top of it or something like that. So, there you go. That's the seafood salad. Well, sorry. Just took that thing and snapped it right across there, right out from in front of the camera. And here we are in our lovely little
Dining room
area. Oh, it looks nice. You have all the utensils over there for serving up, where should I put that?
I'll serve the loaf here, and you serve some of your salad.
Oh, well,
Now,
thank you.
let me give you a big piece of
Well, you
chicken.
didn't give
loaf.
yourself any beans.
Well, I'm
Laban,
going to.
Well, let me help you. There you are.
Well,
The serving goes on and on and on. It smells great. All
Yes,
of
it does.
smells
Lovely.
wonderful.
Thank
I
you so
think that I
much.
would not normally serve seafood salad with chicken, but that's okay. It won't hurt a thing on this show. Anything goes. I thought it was going to knock over the flower arrangement there for a minute. We have a lovely floral tribute to Miss Doris today from a friend. Isn't that pretty? And it's a dear friend of hers who wanted to make sure that she was treated properly on the program for a change today. We appreciate that. Well, this certainly smells great. What have you tried?
your salad,
And
not bad. It's really good.
absolutely, if it had set up for the night, it would have been even better, probably. Let me try your green beans here. They're pretty good.
How are the onions?
They're all right.
Should they have been?
Well, they're not overpowering, and I don't know. I can't give you an answer. I just don't know what to say about it. I think they're okay, but once in a while you'll hit one of those little things and it,
You get a little like a burst of flavor.
yeah, like you won't be able to, I won't be able to be smooching up on anybody for the rest of the day. Now, what's this chicken stuff?
This is chicken loaf, just like a meatloaf. except
Doris, you did wonderful.
this is really good.
just wonderful.
All these recipes are tasty, full of flavor.
And we always like for people to send their recipes to us from all around America.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't even tried the seafood thing. I like that. That's wonderful. Let me taste it again just to make sure. Can you tell we're stretching a little here?
Well, you know, sometimes you have to
You
do
have to
that.
do that. Even in your kitchen at home, you're not used to doing things in a given amount of time.
Right. Now, you'll find a way to send the recipes to us by looking at the end of the show. And please send them in because we love to get them and see what you're cooking. And remember, you don't have to send in one that came off the box or the bag 2 weeks ago. Even though Grandma's old recipe may indeed have originally come from a bag or a box.
You know, that is true.
Tradition of American cooking.
We have discovered that down through the years that people send us their grandmother's recipes and we find out they came off of a can somewhere. Grandma
Back in-
was a bird.
Back in the 18 or late 1800s or early 1900s.
Right
but it's
after
true.
they started making cans,
Right.
of course.
But send it to us and we'll look at it, and if we can fit it in, we'll do it right
Some of
here
our
on
recipes were
Cookin'
so old they were actually written on the side of rocks, we
Oh.
discovered. But anyway, well, I think this is a good round of recipes.
Excellent.
So anyway, Mr. Johnson, my best to you, and have a nice day. And come back again sometime.
I already planned to do that. I don't have to be wished it.